What's up guys, welcome to my channel, my first ever poker vlog. A quick intro before I begin the hands. Feel free to skip this bit, but just a bit of background on myself, why I've started it. Well, basically this is the beginning of my journey. The footage of the hands is actually only about the 8th time that I've played a live cash game in a casino. So we ended up going to Hippodrome in London. It was last week. The day before that, I lost my buy-in. I didn't buy in for the max, which is probably a mistake. But this time I did buy in for the max and ended up being my biggest cash win. So luckily on the first time I decided to record the hands, I also cash in my biggest win. So yeah, but basically I only picked up this hobby about 3 months ago. So this is something that I play on the side to my main job, and just been really enjoying it. And maybe you might find this series somewhat useful, entertaining, or even relatable if you're in a similar position to myself where you only have the time to play it on the side, and just seeing where it can go with study, live play, bit of online play, and that's basically what I'm doing. So hopefully this can be somewhat interesting to you, and let's get into the hands. In one of the very first hands of the session, we pick up pocket sixes in the big blind. There is a bet of £8 from early position, and we have 5 callers to the flop. Flop comes king of spades, 7 of spades, and the 4 of clubs. It checks round to the button, who bets immediately £2, which everyone buys. On the turn, we see the board pair and 4 of diamonds. Everyone checks, and on the river, we see the 8 of clubs. Everyone checks again. I flip my card, and to our surprise, we pick this one up. Okay, so we swapped tables, and I forgot to record what was the biggest hand I've ever been in. So let me quickly explain what happened. I had deuces on the button. Pre-flop, early position raises to £10. Middle position calls, cut-off calls, and I call. 4 ways to the flop. Board comes king of hearts, 6 of hearts, and a 2 of clubs. The early pre-flop aggressor now c-bets for £20. The middle position and cut-off quickly both fold, but I now raise to £60. And the early position pre-flop aggressor eventually calls. The turn is a relatively safe card, 10 of diamonds. He now checks. I raise to £120, and the villain has about 250 behind. Yet he calls. So the pot is now £360. The river is 6 of clubs. So I take about 30 seconds before pushing all of my remaining chips in. And the villain, he takes 5 seconds to think and calls. And we show our hand, and villain mucks right away. So we just stacked someone live for the first time. We're very, very happy. Just trying not to get ahead of ourselves, and just hope we can continue to run this hot. In this next hand, we have king 10 offsuit, which I remember to record. I bet 5 pre-flop, being on the button. Everyone folded towards me. The small blind and big blind both called. Now we're on the flop, which came 9 of hearts, 6 of clubs, king of diamonds. I continue bet for £5. This small blind is sitting, a Russian friendly lady, she calls. The big blind folds, and on the turn she checks when a queen of spades come in to complete the rainbow, and I decide to bet 15. She calls, and we're gonna see the river, which is the 6 of hearts. She checks, I check back and show king 10, and we scoop this hand up as she mucks her hand. And in retrospect, I probably could have got more value out of her there, but we move. Moving on to the best hand in the game, we look at down that beautiful aces and decide to try to trap pre-flop, but fails miserably as it gets limped 5 ways to the flop, which came a 3 of hearts, 10 of clubs, king of diamonds. We checked on the flop and it gets checked all the way around. I do apologise that my hand is in the bloody way, but the turn comes a board pair and 3 of spades, and now under the gun, as you can see to my right, bet £10, and for that price we will definitely make the call, and it gets folded on our left, and the button calls as well. The small blind folded, so it's 3 ways to the river, which comes another board pairing card, the 10 of hearts. Undergun slows down and checks. I think I'm probably ahead, so make a bet of £15.
under the gun will think for a bit and eventually decides to flick in the call. So we do indeed get paid off when we turn over our aces and he marks his hand and they get thrown into the middle. We've got another Playboy hand for the vlog as we look down at King Jack of clubs. We are under the gun and raised it up to £10 and got 5 callers. The flop now comes a 5 of clubs, 6 of clubs and Jack of diamonds. I decide to check. The player to my left checks, but the button leads out for 20. The small blind and big blind both fold. I, of course, will not go anywhere with the flush board on board. So the middle player also folds and we go into the turn heads up, which comes a wonderful 9 of clubs to complete my flush. Our opponent has been the loosest player on the table and he now bets £50. This is music to my ears. I'm trying to think how I can extract the most value and don't want him to go anywhere. So I will just make the call and keep him in the hand. The river comes a irrelevant, inconsequential blank. It is a 3 of diamonds. Our opponent was very eager as he acted before his turn for the 2nd street in a row. I decide to act weak and show him a check. Our opponent now bets £35. I quickly raise him up to £100 after about a minute into the tank. Our opponent will make his decision. And he calls. And we turn over our flush. Of course, we win another massive pot for the session. And I cannot believe our luck. My days were running hot. And once again, we look down at pocket aces for the 2nd time in the session. And we are on the button with the best hand in the best position and make a small raise of £5, hoping we can get a caller from the small blind or big blind as it has been folded to us, but we simply have no fish to bite the bait. So I can't believe it as we look down at pocket aces for the 3rd time in one session. We are on the big blind. The player in the middle position raises to 20. We get a few folds. The button calls. And we are thinking, do we raise or do we call? But we end up calling on the big blind. Now, I'm not too sure about that move. The flop comes 10 of spades, 9 of hearts, 8 of diamonds. We quickly lead out for £25. And the middle position player, he makes a call. And the button wants to see the turn. So we go 3 ways to the turn. And it is a 4 of hearts, bringing in the flush draw. Now, I quickly lead out for £50 without much thought here. And the middle position player goes all in for another £250. The button quickly decided to get out of the way and doesn't want anything to do with it. I, on the other hand, have a tough decision to make. And therefore I'm in the tank for a long 3 minutes. It is another £200 to call what I feel is a complete coin flip. There's about £450 in the pot, so I need to win about 33% of the time to break even if my calculations are right. Anyway, I'm not happy about the spot, and eventually I decide to make a reluctant fold. And at the end of the session, Villain tells me he had Jack 10 of hearts for top pair and a combo draw. Running the hand through a sim, I was winning 55% of the time in that spot. So there we go.
Thanks for watching, guys. Apologies about the flipping hand. I'm gonna have to make sure that that doesn't get in the way in my next vlog that should come out next week. I'm gonna try and make these vlogs weekly. So in this series, I'll show you the reality of what it's like to play poker when you have a very little amount of experience and you only have time to play it on the side. And so we'll see how this goes. I welcome all your constructive criticism and feedback. That's encouraged. Please do leave comments and I'll be reading them, and I'll be showing you the good, bad and ugly, and just basically trying to make this just a reality of what it's like to play live cash in today's environment. And we'll see where this goes. I'm gonna see you hopefully in the next video, and make sure to drop a like or subscribe if you found this useful, entertaining, or if you want to just keep up with the journey and see where it goes. But that's enough rambling from me today. Thanks for watching and take care.